Hey everybody, I want to try to give you 20 minutes of information about this cursed Laredo trip in a 10-minute video or less, and it's not going to happen, so here I go. I just can't believe how cursed this trip has been. It's been ridiculous since yesterday. There's been 8 million weird things happening. Let's start with my shipment from earlier this week from Ontario, Canada, going down to a GM plant without knowing what was in the future. Just knowing that I could have a little layover or whatever, but no big deal, right? Well, I make that delivery good to go, like with no, sleeping for 5 hours or waiting. I get right there, and it was kind of, there wasn't really a lot of time to do it, so I drove there, got there for a morning drop-off. Oh yeah, that's the night we slept at the in front of the Ford store to wake up early in the morning and get an oil change. And we got a pretty good night's sleep there, even though there was a lot of traffic noise and it was a little cold in the van because the heater was running out of fluid. Well, I was ready to hit the gym and get a little rest afterwards, and so I could re-energize for another load. But here's what happened. They suddenly had an idea that they would need me to go to Laredo, Texas, which has a lot of horror stories, but pays good. It's a lot of miles, which is what you want. So I gotta prepare for an interchange here, so everybody just hold on. I want 70 west, 65 south, so sorry buddy, gotta cut you off. That's what a New Yorker does. Get used to it. Leave me screwed. Here, why don't I take the empty lane? You could have got it. Anyways, I get up they, instead of that happening, they send me for a, I suddenly get information that, hey, we got a load.
To stay on I-70 West.
Yeah. We got a load to get you back to Ontario, Canada, because in Ontario, Canada, you're going to, near Ingersoll, you're going to pick up a load that's got to go to Laredo. Fair enough. So it all starts from there. I get this load
Keep left to stay on I-70 West.
At the Denso plant. It's a little bit cumbersome. They're kind of
Continue on I-70 West for 2 miles.
They're a little picky there, as they are at some of these GM affiliates, but whatever. I got the load as per everybody, made everybody happy, scrambled it up to Ontario, Canada. 7 hours of driving, took me 12 hours with all the stops for gas and munchies and basically just hopping back in the car and wrong turns. So I finally get to the drop-off location. They say just get there as early as possible, even though it was delivered by 4 or 5 in the morning. They said just get there as early as possible, because then you can go be at the other place for an 8 in the morning pickup. Well, it turned out that I didn't get to the one place till 2:30 in the morning. It's 3 o'clock by the time they unloaded me. I've been driving 12 hours, and they say I haven't even gotten information on where this Laredo pickup is. So I have to get that. I'm communicating with dispatch. She says she'll send me this information, find out, it's only 45 minutes away from where you are. It's 3 in the morning, and I just drove 12 hours, and now I'm trying to sleep to get up at 8 in the morning, and I got to drive another 45 minutes? What the fuck, right? So I do that, and I get to that place to get the pickup for Laredo, which I think should be, it's this big hustle job. It's really important, so I'm thinking that it's going to be like every other shipper where, here's your stuff, here's your bill of lading, hasta la bye-bye, have fun, bring it in. And I'm gung-ho because it pays good, and I haven't been to Laredo yet. and there's a lot of horror stories in Laredo, but I want to check it out. And my company says that they don't have the horror stories because they can get me right in and right out of there without having to wait for days. So, okay, sounds cool. But it starts out that I'm sleeping, trying to sleep for this 3 hours in the van, and there's no heat. So I'm bundled up pretty good in the bed, and I'm feeling toasty and warm for the first 2 hours, but by the morning, I'm freezing.
Keep right at the cliff to stay on I-70 West. Follow signs for I-70 West Airport.
I can hear cars starting to pull in the parking lot by 6:30 in the morning, so I get up, somewhat freshen up. I haven't even had a shower yet at all.
Keep right at the cliff
I need to
stay on
shave.
I-70 West.
I'm disgusting. I'm not that bad because I haven't been sweating, but by no means
Continue on I-70 West for 144 miles.
feeling chipper and clean. So I'm on a lack of sleep, and it starts out with this shipper. First of all, I got a vibe. As soon as I got to the place, something is up. There's a whole bunch of people that they got some attitudes, and they got some, I can tell there's like a kind of a little bit of snobbery or whatever it was going on, but whatever, because they're a robotics place, and they were just doing a favor for somebody, and they sent them the wrong part, so this all needs to go back, and it's very important, keep that in mind. This stuff is very important. And they were going to get all pissed because they didn't think it was going to fit in the van. But very first thing is, no one knows where anybody is. No one knows where the skids are. Then an owner shows up and he knows where the skids are. He gives me this look like we're going to have to go to another building. Like, you can tell that they know that they're fucking around. Like, that I don't got time to go to different buildings, and I'm not there to start, starting and stopping my van and moving it 6 different places. That wastes my time and my gas. And they know that. You can tell by the look in their eye. But I'm cool with it. I'm trying to be diplomatic. I'm going to make some okay coins, so I take it as they roll, right? Even on fucking 3 hours of ice-cold sleep, right? I'm doing my best to hold it all together for these people. Then, so they say, go to this other building. I go around the corner. It's only around the corner to another building. Then I got to move the van because they don't like where it's parked. Okay, now they can start loading it. This guy gets a forklift. He gets these super long forks for some reason on there. He starts having a hard time with the forklift. He can't use it very well. He's not following instructions or directions. He's having a hard time seeing what he's doing, getting it into my van. He dents the rear, one of the wheel wells, as typically what happens with these, with errant forklift operators. He slides some in there, and then we realize that they're not going to fit, and he starts complaining about my van, making me feel awkward about it, making comments, speaking in a different language to people nearby. It just gets really weird all of a sudden. Then he's talking with his employees, start ignoring me, start giving him commands. They're giving him the wrong commands to get the thing in the van, and I'm trying to tell him how to do it right. And the one employee starts opening the side door of my van. He's not authorized to fucking touch the goddamn van. He starts opening the side door, and it crushes a light I have back there that I brought with me this time, so I could have a little light in the back. So, I mean, it's complete bullshit. My light is crushed now. It's not unusable, but it's all dented and smashed. And when he said to me, oh man, this stuff is not going to fit. This shipment is very important to me. I said, my light is very important to me, and now it's smashed, right? So basically, those people started to slink away, and I started giving them the right instructions, and I also got in contact with dispatch, who let me know that these pallets are not square, so if I turn them 45 degrees, they should actually fit all 6 in the van. So that ends up what happens. I tell him what's going to go on. He doesn't understand at first. I tell him, just follow me. Let's get him pulled out of the van, changed around, and everything will fit. And what do you know? It all fits. I've got to do some of the shoving and loading in the van. I'm crafty. I grab my piece of wood so I can wedge it under the skid and get it all pushed back in there. This shipment is 6 ginormous skids for parts that don't even need to be in these ginormous skids. And it takes up completely the back end of my van. So I have nowhere to sleep for this entire 24 to 27 hours from Canada. For an entire 27 hours, I have nowhere to sleep on 4 hours of fucking sleep. Can you goddamn believe that? I've heard of this job as a 1099. You're basically a steering wheel holder, is what people have said. And now I know what they're talking about. When people strip the humanity out of these jobs, I mean, this has happened to me before. It's so put offish, and I do everything to try to not take it personally and get all upset with people, and I get like that. It's such a struggle for me. So, there's more to this, a ton more details. The guy's crappy with me, you know, he's all in a bad mood about putting the skids in, but we totally get him in there. Now I gotta meet him back at the building for paperwork, so I gotta drive all the way back around, and you know, they're hereby just moving the van like that uses a quarter of a tank of gas. That's $1, $2 in Canada. That's an $85 tank of gas because gas is so expensive there. So I get to the building. And I'm diplomatic with the guy. He was cool enough to offer. He says, "Do you want a coffee?" I said, "Yeah, actually, make me some coffee." He sets me down in the break room. I go to him and I apologize. I say, "Hey, look, man, if I wasn't so new, I would have known about those skids more, and we would have had them loaded the right way the first time. So I apologize, and I thank you for being so patient." I totally put it on, like, made him feel like, you know, he was the one that was, you know, wronged, and I was very apologetic, even though it was completely the other fucking way, and no one made any apologies or offer to replace my light, right? A $6 light at Walmart. I guess they just think you spent the $6 on your light, right? So, that calms him down a little bit, and he explains to me in there. He goes, "Oh man," he goes, "see, we build robotics here. That's their big hoity-toity thing. They're, you know, a robotics builder. They don't. These parts were just some plastic things sent by a favor he did for someone, and they were the wrong pieces that didn't work, so they're just sending them back. And now all of a sudden, what was very important outside is just junk. Total contradiction in story, but whatever, right?" So I fixed myself up a thing of break room coffee, and next thing you know, they got to work on the paperwork. I should have been in and out of this place already. It's going on 9 o'clock, and the guy's got a new guy's got to show up, and just checking my map here. A new guy's got to show up. He starts messing around with Google or Windows XP or not Windows whatever the documents thing that he's got to create a document, a bill of lading. And he does no idea how to do it or what to put on it, but he starts winging it. He makes something up that's passable. Then he's got to copy them all off. We got to go out to the van. He's got to stick them on the van. Then it turns out he's still missing a piece of paper. This is a condensed version of what took 3 effing fucking hours to get done before I could get out of there. It's about it's about 11:45 now, and I'm just getting clearance to finally leave the place after a lot more kookiness with people in the office and this guy in his paperwork. So, I get on my way finally from there. I still got to stop by the office and pick up their customs paperwork. That goes down. It's 2 hours to the office. I get the paperwork. At least the border went quick. And well, the wait was actually, I got there just as it was getting really busy, so I was kind of glad I got there when I did, but it was still a good half hour, 45 minutes in line there. But they whisked me right through once I got to the desk, so that was good. The lady wasn't too much of a hassle, even though she was a little bit of a hassle, but I always hate the border, but I got right through. Then I start heading out of there, and I see a car. I go around a curve in Toledo, and there's a car completely engulfed in flames, like an SUV, like burning really bad on fire. I passed it right by. I thought the thing was going to explode as I passed by if the flames were going to get to the gas tank, but it was the front hood area. The flames were about 15 feet tall. It was crazy. The whole thing was like burning on fire. I never saw anything like that. So that was part of like the weirdness. So I get down the road more, and I think it was because I was doing this. I had Google Maps on, and I had a video trying to do Facebook Live, and I had all this documentation from work. We use a scanner program to create PDFs. Between that and all my old videos, it started to screw, my phone screwed up and started going bonkers on me. So that just took the cake. I slowed right down. It was only a few minutes ago that I got lucky. I kind of knew where I was going on a highway, so I stayed my course, and it turned out to be right. I got Google Maps to work again, but even though the phone wasn't working, I tried to reset it. I got Google to function, in Google Maps, I searched out where a Metro PCS store was. So I went and parked there. I was going to wait until morning to get the thing fixed, and now I ended up fixing the phone. By being able to delete everything little by little, it stopped fucking up, and I got all my apps back, and here it is working again. And now we're on the way. And the moon is full. So that's like a real condensed version in 17 minutes of the craziness. Like I said, I had 20 minutes of crap, and there was even just more nonsense in there than anyone should have to endure. So, absolute ridiculousness. There's an airplane coming in. It looks like it's going to land on the freaking highway right now. I guess the airport must be nearby. It's got some bright lights shining right on us. Pretty neat. So that was pretty crazy. And now I got nowhere to sleep. I'm just going to drive a couple more hours here until, I don't know, the coffee wears off and I start getting drowsy. Then I'm hopefully going to find a rest area, because I think that's going to be better than a truck stop. It doesn't seem to work out. Pilots don't work out for me. It's too bright, it's too noisy. They're trying to discourage overnight sleepers. But where am I going to sleep anyways? All I've got is this front chair that I've been sitting in for 10 hours already. It's ridiculous. It's so uncomfortable. So, I'm just going to try to catch a couple hours, and then when we're fresh in the morning, we can gobble up a whole day's worth of driving, and we should get to Laredo by the evening, and we'll either spend the evening in Laredo, or maybe we'll choose a safer town and just try to get there by morning. I don't fucking know what we're going to do. It's pretty outrageous, but I guess that's what we're doing. So it's 11:29 as I speak right now, so I could probably put a good hour in a drive-in, and then by then I'll probably be getting, I'll probably be into full deliriousness, because I think I'm somewhat delirious right now. It's just I'm perked up from the coffee, so I feel like I can roll a little bit more. But I can hear it in my voice, the way it's cracking. And I feel like I'm just on a second wind or something like that, and ooh, rest area, 2 miles. You know what that means? Next rest area is 71 miles. Okay, that's what we'll do. We'll go 71 miles. That'll be a good hour and 10 minutes, and we'll be at that rest area is where we're going to sleep. Because I feel like I can do an hour, even though about a half hour down the road, I'm going to be like, oh God, why did I do this? I'm going to die. But maybe if I'm that bad, maybe there'll probably be a Pilot or a Love's at that point. Or just an exit I'll get off of, if worse comes to worse. So, okay, there's 20 minutes of video that I don't think is going to upload very well, but we'll try and see what happens. About my cursed trip to, my first and cursed trip to Laredo, Texas. Laredo. To see what goes on down there. And hopefully not get in any major trouble being so close to a border and in somewhat of a shady area, as so do people say. So there goes my light. I'm going to cut this off and see you guys in the morning for an update. Have a good night. Have a good day wherever you are.